Everyone, if I can ask you to take your seats again, please. I have that unfortunate job of trying to keep us on schedule. Okay, that's one way of doing it. Right. All right. Once again, my name is Joel Ackerman, and I'm very pleased to introduce our next speaker. I find this topic to be really exciting and interesting because it's continually evolving. This session, Aging in Place with Assistive Technology, is being presented by Amy Perron. Did I pronounce that right? Yeah. Okay. The program director for the STAR program located within the Minnesota Department of Administration. STAR is an acronym for a system of technology to achieve results, and Amy has been with the program for the last 8 years. Before serving as director, Amy was an assistive technology specialist for STAR, working directly with Minnesotans, consulting and assisting with assistive technology. Prior to coming to the state of Minnesota, Amy worked in the private sector selling assistive technology. And with that, let's welcome Amy.
Good morning, everyone. Can you guys hear me okay? All right, excellent. You know, I'm thrilled to be here. We've been coming for the last few years, and this is this is an event that is near and dear to my heart. Whenever I start out, though, I want to make sure that people can hear us okay, because accessibility is really our #1 concern. So thank you so much for taking time out of this busy day to join me and learn a little bit about assistive technology. So first I want to introduce myself. He did tell you that I'm Amy Perron with the Minnesota STAR program, the program director, but I want to share with you that our mission is to help all Minnesotans with disabilities and aging adults gain access to and acquire the assistive technology that they need to live, learn, work, play, all of the things. So you may realize this, we're all aging, right? Every day. In the United States, as of 2020, it's estimated that approximately 16.5% of our population was seniors. And by seniors, we're saying 65 or older. We're projecting by 2023 that number is going to rise to approximately 20%. And we know as the numbers of retirements increase in the U.S., the amount of workers entering the workforce is decreasing. So what does that mean to us? As we age, we know that our healthcare needs and our caregiving needs may very well increase. We know that because of the workforce shortage that we're going to continue to see rising costs for both long-term care needs, for everything, right? For food, for services, it's all going up in price. The need for social and support services is increasing, but yet the number of providers are decreasing. And this, of course, is an economic impact to seniors, as we know our incomes are not increasing. So today I want to ask, can technology help with some of these gaps and some of these needs? I believe it can. We don't say that technology is definitely going to work for everyone, and what works for one person may not work for another, but I think it's important to consider technology. And so what are some areas that we could look at as we age to have technology help us? So a few examples would be health monitoring technology, social connectivity, cognitive health, tech for safety and independence, financial management, and of course, learning and leisure. And on the screen right now, I've got a picture of a gentleman who is actually using a pulse oximeter, and it connects virtually to his healthcare provider. So it's able to give them the results and kind of keep a pulse on how things are going. So as we think about technology, there's certain challenges and considerations that we really need to keep in mind. Ease of use and complexity. So some tech is really easy to use. Some tech is very challenging to use. It can be very expensive. As we age, we sometimes have some physical changes, some cognition changes or limitations. We may not have access to the technology. It may be something that we've never used before. And then, of course, how do we use it? You know, some tech is pretty intuitive. It doesn't take a lot of training, but some of it is very, very challenging to learn. And then, of course, if we're using the internet, there's privacy and security concerns that we need to think about. So this is a lot of stuff. And at the Minnesota STAR program, we're here to walk along people with their journey as they are introduced to technology. And we want to make people aware of these different things that you need to consider. And so I keep saying this word, assistive technology, assistive technology. What in the world is assistive technology? The Minnesota STAR program is federally funded, and that means we have to go by federal law. And if any of you have worked with government or in government, you know that it's complicated, and oftentimes they speak gibberish. And so I have on the screen right now the federal definition of assistive technology, and I would say this is gibberish. But I'm going to read it out loud to you. It's any item, piece of equipment, or product system, whether acquired commercially, off the shelf, modified, or customized, that is used to increase, maintain, or improve functional capabilities of individuals with disabilities. Wow, that is a mouthful. For me, assistive technology could be anything that helps someone do something that they couldn't have done before without that tech, okay? So, sorry for the picture. We know what's coming, right? If you're able to see the screen, you see an elderly gentleman in his long winter coat with his hat covering his ears and his gloves, and he's bent over, pushing a walker. His highlight of his day, every day, is going to get the mail. And because of some physical limitations he has, that was beginning to be impossible for him to do. So he sat down with his son. This picture actually comes from some friends of ours in North Dakota. They have a similar program to ours, and they shared this picture. So he sat down with his son, and they talked about how he'd really love to get the mail. Is there a way he could do it safely? So they got together, and they went out in the shop, and they found some 2x4s, and they found some 1x1s, and were able to put them together to make a plow to put on the front of his walker. So I ask you, is this assistive technology?
I want one.
I would say this is absolutely assistive technology. So before we go any farther, I would love to share with you a video that we created in collaboration with Department of Human Services. And what we tried to do here is we tried to explain assistive technology in plain language. Now, the Minnesota STAR program, we serve all ages, all abilities, and so we tried to cover that in this video, all the lifespan, but take a look.
Assistive technology, also known as AT, can help you do things that might otherwise be difficult or impossible to do on your own. It is an item or device that can help you speak, walk, talk, remember, see, hear, learn, and more. Have you ever struggled to do something on your own? Many people have limits that prevent them from being as independent as possible. Often, assistive technology can help you work, learn, connect, and play. You can use AT with nearly any daily activity. AT can help you tell your computer to write an email, open a jar, keep your food plate in one place on the table, reach for something up high or down low, remind you to contact a friend or take your medicine, hold on to a bottle of your favorite beverage, and so much more. We all use technology in our daily lives. Using assistive technology when you need it can help to increase your independence. Let's meet some people who are already using assistive technology every day. This is Brian. Soon, he will start school at the community college. Brian struggles to take notes and to remember the information his teachers share. He recently heard about smart pens and how they can record everything he writes and hears in class. Brian learned to use a smart pen and now feels more confident about school. Rob and Megan are having a baby. They're concerned they won't hear the baby cry because Rob is hard of hearing and Megan is deaf. They have looked into assistive signaling devices that alert people to things happening in their environment. When the baby cries, the system will flash a bright strobe light and vibrate Rob and Megan's bed. Instead of worrying about missed cries, the new parents can focus on the joy of their growing family. Margaret lives in a care facility in Minnesota, and her daughter Ellen lives in Oregon. Margaret can't travel, and Ellen is able to visit only a couple times a year. Ellen worries about her mom, and Margaret misses seeing her family. The Minnesota Assistive Technology Lending Library worked with Margaret to set up an iPad with a video chat feature. Now, Margaret and Ellen enjoy video calls. Margaret can watch her grandchildren grow, and Ellen can see how her mother is doing. Tom loves to play video games, but after a spinal cord injury, he has lost a lot of movement in his hands and finds it impossible to play his Nintendo Switch game. Thanks to his adaptive Flex controller, Tom can help Mario collect coins, defeat Bowser, and save the princess. Assistive technology is the bridge to independence for many people. How do I know what type of AT device is right for me? Try AT before you buy it. Minnesota's Assistive Technology Program, known as the STAR program, is a free service that helps people in Minnesota get the technology they need to work, learn, connect, and play. You can use the STARS program's online AT lending library to try different types of assistive technology. The online AT lending library allows you to borrow a device so you know if something is right for you before you buy it. Live life your way with AT. Visit mn.atforall.com to browse and borrow loan items today, or call 1-888-234-1267 for more information about this free service.
We got through the video. We all know what assistive technology is. So a little bit more about the Minnesota STAR program. As you heard in the beginning, it's an acronym, which is too much to remember. That's why we go by STAR. We are 100% federally funded. We do not receive any state dollars. Every state in the nation has a program similar to ours. So if you have any family or friends who live in a different state and you think that they could use some help at no cost, let me know and I can connect you with their state resource. We are housed within the Department of Administration on the state capitol complex. We provide services to all Minnesota residents. So that's really the only requirement. You have to live here. You don't have to be a US citizen. You don't have to have documentation of disability, none of that. You just have to have an interest in learning about assistive technology. There is no cost for our services. So one of the core services that we do that I think I really want to drive home to you guys today and make you aware of is what we call a device demonstration. So this is an interactive process, and it can be done in person or it can be done remotely over a video call. And really the idea is we're going to introduce technology to someone. We'll have a person-centered conversation to learn about what that person is struggling with. Maybe it's hearing loss or vision issues, memory loss, whatever it is. We'll learn a little bit about that, and we'll learn about what do you like to do, what do you wish you could do. And then we're going to show them some different technology. So we do not sell anything, we do not have relationships with any vendor, so when you come to us, we're non-biased. We'll show you how the technology works, we'll show you what it can do. Oftentimes then after the demonstration, people are like, wow, I really like that widget, I just don't know if I want to spend the money on it. So we'll say borrow it. You can take it home just like a regular book library. You can take our technology home for 45 days, try it in your environment. If you're working, take it to work, go to church, take it to church. You know, wherever you would use this technology or benefit from it, you're gonna try that out for the 45 days. At the end of the 45 days, the equipment comes back to us. We'll have a conversation. How did it go? What did you think? What did you like? What did you not like? If it turns out the person is interested in buying the technology, we will then let them know who sells it, where you can get it. If the person is receiving services such as waiver services, we can connect with the case manager or the social worker and let them know how to buy this technology and have it paid through the waiver. Some of it will be covered through insurance, not a lot though. So if a person can't afford technology, then we're going to try to find them grants or other opportunities to get the tech paid for them. I'd love to explain the photo that you're seeing here. This is an elderly woman who has some hearing loss, loves to play bingo, but was having a hard time hearing the bingo numbers being called. So she's using what we call a personal amplifier. The one she's using is a pocket talker, and it just looks like a little headphone. And there's a small device about the size of a cell phone that she's got sitting on the table, and it's amplifying the sound around her. So at STAR, we have about 1,000 different devices in our lending library, and we have a website. So if you're using the computer, you can go to the website. It's called mn.at4all.com. Minnesota AT for All. And we have the devices broken up in categories, so depending on what you're trying to get help with, you can search by the category, or if that's just too much, if it's too overwhelming, give us a call or shoot us an email and we're happy to help with you. We are a very small team. We're a team of 3.5 people in St. Paul, serving the entire state of Minnesota. So we do contract with some partners who have existing lending library programs throughout the state. We've got partners in Moorhead, Rochester, Duluth, St. Cloud, all over. So if you or your loved one is needing technology and wants to see it firsthand, if they're not in the Twin Cities, there's a good chance that we've got someone who can help them. And the reason I mention this is because their technology is also listed on our library page. We've got all the different programs listed, so then you'll be able to see where that technology is housed. Now, if you're interested in a piece of technology and it's at Moorhead, you go, can I still borrow it? Absolutely. Moorhead will ship the technology to you. You can try it out, and then when you're done, you just have to ship it back to them. Please let me know as we go along. If anybody has any questions, feel free to raise your hand, and I will be happy to answer. So let's talk technology, and you can see I went wild here, and I've got a picture of 2 robotic arms trying to touch their fingers together. We do not have any robotic arms yet, but there are robotic arms out there. I want to let you know that. So I thought I'd give you some examples of different types of technology, especially for seniors or folks who are aging. So we know that amplification is huge, so we do not have hearing aids in our facility, but we can certainly give you a lot of information about hearing aids. We know things are changing out there, right? You can get over-the-counter hearing aids versus the prescription hearing aids. Do you want to have a conversation about why would I buy an over-the-counter hearing aid versus a prescription, or why would it benefit me to go to the audiologist? Or maybe you're someone who isn't quite ready for that $3,000 to $5,000 investment. Then maybe you want the personal amplifier, which is the little pocket talker on the lower left. And typically when somebody is looking at a piece of technology, we're going to show you multiples. So the one on the lower left is a pocket talker made from a particular vendor. We're going to show you 3 or 4 other vendors' comparable products. Think of it as your car. You know, you got a Ford, you got a Chevy, you got a Toyota. They all do the same thing, right? But for some reason, you might like one brand or manufacturer over another. In the center of the screen is what we call a monitoring solution. So with this, for someone who is deaf, hard of hearing, an alerting system may be very helpful for them. So it looks like a traditional alarm clock, which it will work as a clock, but then there's all these different components that work with it. And it can alert you to things like a doorbell ringing, a telephone ringing, the smoke alarm going off, the CO2, all different types of things. And how it alerts you is there's a small vibrating disc that goes crazy when the alarm goes off. So let's say someone rings your doorbell. This vibrating disc is going to just go crazy. So if it's sitting on in your chair and you're there, you're going to feel that vibration. Also at the top, there's a strobe, so the strobe light is going to flash. We've got some that will also connect to your desk lamp, so then your lamp is going to flash. So we've got lots of different ways. This also has environmental alert, so if you've got weather emergencies, it's also going to let you know about a weather emergency. And then also we've got phones that you can make really loud, so if you're having a hard time hearing your phone. So these are a few examples of hearing-related tech. Now on the screen, I've got some ideas for you in regards to vision solutions. So somebody here today was asking me about bump dots. I've got them up in the upper left-hand corner, and I know State Services is here. I don't know, do you guys have any bump dots here today? Excellent. So if you want to know more about a bump dot, go over there. They're very affordable, but basically it's just, free is the best kind, right? So they're rubber, and they have an adhesive back, and you can put them on things. So let's say you want to cook something in the microwave and you just need 30 seconds, you're not sure where that is, put the little bump dot on that 30-second mark, and then you can feel where it is. She's going to have lots of great other ideas on how to use those bump dots. We've got a task light right to the left, or to the right of the bump dots. I cannot tell you what a difference task lighting can make. So if your vision is starting to fail, if you get an LED light with adjustable lighting, it can make a huge difference. I know myself, I'm a crafter, and I'm really struggling now with doing my cross stitch and things like that. When I use my task lighting, it's a game changer. Kind of extending on the crafting, on the right there, we've got a crochet hook that illuminates. And so maybe you're working with dark yarn and it's kind of hard to see. You just put that little hook in there and it brightens the area up. And I do have that here today. A lot of this tech that I'm showing you, we do have at our tables and back. The lower left is a digital magnifier. They come in all different shapes and sizes. They can be as small as 4 inches, and they can go all the way up to 32 inches, just depending on what you need it for. You can change the size of the font, you can change the background. We know with vision loss, a lot of times people do better with a different type of contrast. Maybe here we've got a black background with white text. It could be reversed, yellow background with black text. Lower right corner is the example of a high contrast keyboard, which I do have here today. So just simple little things like this can really make a difference for people. Communication tools for someone who is nonverbal and unable to speak. Sometimes just a simple board with a picture on it, which they can point to convey a message. The one in the upper left-hand corner is commonly used in hospital situations where maybe someone is unable to speak, but they want to relay their level of pain. They can just touch to that 8 or 9 or 10 on the screen. In the center is a voice amplifier. This is a wonderful resource for folks with a very soft voice. We see this used commonly with folks with Parkinson's who have a hard time projecting, and their caregivers and loved ones have a hard time hearing them. This you just wear around your waist like a fanny pack, and then there's a neck collar which has the microphone that amplifies. And then in the upper right-hand corner, I'm not gonna get into this today, apps. Apps are huge. There's so many apps for folks who are using mobile technology like smartphones or tablets. We've got a lot of tools out there now where if you turn an app on, it's gonna live caption the conversation. So if I'm someone who's having a hard time hearing, I can see the conversation show up right on my phone live. That's a tool that we use quite a bit. Cognitive aids on the left upper right hand, or the upper left hand corner, we've got a watch minder. So maybe you need to take medication throughout the day, or maybe you just want a reminder to walk, whatever it might be. You can program that on this little wristwatch. It's about the size of my watch, a standard size watch, and you just program in the reminders. It's not internet connected. It's audio alarms, and then it does have a little digital printout for folks who don't have any vision loss. We also have a number of options of medication reminders. It could be something as simple as just, did I take my medication? The lower left is a bottle that every time you take the cap off, it resets, and it tells you the last time and day that that cap came off the bottle. Up top is a higher level of security as far as medication reminders. This particular device locks. You program the time that the dispenser opens, and when you tip it over, the caregiver gets a text alert that the medication has been dispensed. So if you're caring for someone who's really struggling and just could use some reminders, a tool like that might be really beneficial. Lower right is an air tag, if you've heard of those. So an air tag is something that is app-based, and it will let you know where something you need is. So here we're using it with with keys. So if you don't remember where you put your keys, you can just trigger it on your phone and it's going to make an audible alert, and then you can find it. It'll also show the vicinity. I know my daughter uses one of these for her dog who likes to roam. And so she's been able to track the dog down with the AirTag. And then the upper right is what I would consider a low-tech tool. Maybe you've got somebody who's got some memory issues. The example we have up here is it's just old family photos, and what we've done with it is we've recorded messages about, do you remember the time that we went to the farm and the cows were eating, and whatever you want. Or I've got it set up in back right now where it's showing you how to make a cup of coffee, all the steps. So each time you turn the page, you push the button and it tells you the next step. So that's a low-tech tool that can really help people who just need simple reminders. So now I wanted to talk a little bit more about some emerging technologies that we're starting to see more and more of. And one really common popular device that we're seeing is what we call a personal emergency response system, also called PERS. And you probably are most familiar with this as what we would call fall protection. So there's many different kinds, many different manufacturers, and again, it's not our job to tell you what manufacturer or what product you should buy. But what we want to do is we want to have a conversation with you to figure out what you need, what you're looking for. Do you need monitoring just in the home? Are you not going to be going anywhere? Are you just really worried about if you were to fall in the home? Or are you going out and about and you need to know, you want your caregiver to know if you would fall, or maybe you got lost, you don't know where you are. There are ones that have GPS so they can monitor right where someone is at. Are you interested in connecting with a service? Do you want, if you fall, someone's going to call you right away and say, hey, are you okay? You don't answer, they call 911. Or you say, yeah, I just fell, I'm confused, then they call your caregiver. That's something. Do you want to sign a contract? Do you want, are you concerned about the battery life? How does it charge? Does it work inside a building? I mean, there's so many questions that you want to think about before you make a purchase, and this is something that we can really help you with. Now, the one that I've got on the screen right now is Freedom Alert. And this one is unique in the sense that this one does not work with internet. And so we get a lot of people who are maybe in outstate Minnesota and they don't have access to internet. So this one works directly with a landline. So for people who don't have a landline, they could not use this one. But this one's got a couple different components. And so there's one that you clip on your person, or you can wear it as a wristwatch. You can also get another component that you could put in the bathroom in case you were to fall in the bathroom. And with these, you simply have to push the button, and then it's going to contact your caregivers. This one does not go to 911, and for some people, that's the way they want it. So this is a solution that we like to showcase. Smart home technology. Are any of you in here using smart home technology? I see a few nods. This is amazing. And originally when smart home tech started, I don't think the designers or developers were necessarily thinking of people with disabilities or aging adults. But as time has gone on, we just see what a difference this technology can make in people's lives. So again, there's certain things that you're going to have and know about. You have to have access to internet with most of these devices. But some of the things that you can do, assistance, so like Amazon Echo, what's the weather? What was the score of the Vikings game? Whatever you want to know. If you're hooked up to the internet, you're going to be able to get answers to most of those questions. Security, so we can do different types of monitoring systems with this. You can put it on a door or a window. If the door or window opens, you get an alert that something's happening. Lighting. So I know at my own home we use smart lighting, and it's wonderful. You want to turn on or off the lights, you don't even have to get out of the chair. You just tell Siri, hey Siri, turn on the lights. Thermostats, same type of thing. And this is wonderful too. If someone is a caregiver, maybe you've got somebody who has got some real serious medical conditions and they can't be in the house over a certain temperature. You can set this to get an alert that if the house goes over 72 degrees or whatever the temperature is, you know something's going on and you need to check it out. Smart outlets are going to work really well with like your lights and different types of tools. You could use appliances. We've got smart appliances like you can get smart crock pots, you can get smart coffee pots, all those type of things. Pill reminders, vacuum cleaners, beds. So the beds, I'm trying to think of the name, Select Comfort actually has a smart bed where as you sleep, it detects how much movement there is and it can readjust the settings. Pretty much if you can think of it, there's probably something out there. Motion sensors, again, if we're trying to make sure that somebody's up and moving around, that would be an example of something that we could monitor with those motion sensors. And then on the screen, I've got a picture of a smart speaker. This is a Google speaker that has a camera on it, so family members could just drop in. If you give them access and you want to have a conversation, that's a great option for individuals. So health monitoring tech. So this is something that we really started to see develop during COVID. You know, there were so many restrictions and limitations, and we had to try to figure out how we could serve people. And so more and more people started using telehealth. Well, now we've got these smart tools that can work alongside this. So we can do the blood pressure monitoring. We've got the smart scales. You know, if someone is not diabetic, if someone has kidney disease and is on dialysis, you're going to be monitoring their weight, right? So if they start to gain a couple of pounds over a couple days, you know you've got some problems. So with this smart scale, that is something that you can monitor. And I've got on the screen just a number of different tools and technology that you can access and then you know, get the results that you need and provide it to your medical provider. So I went through this really, really quick. I just want to make sure that as you guys are thinking about technology and trying to consider technology, know that you can reach out to us with any question. If it's, how do I access resources? How do I, is there a piece of technology out there? We are happy to help. And we don't claim to have all of the answers. So what we're going to do is if you reach out to us and we think there's someone who can better serve you, who maybe specializes in a special area, State Services for the Blind, for example. There's a lot we can do, but then there's a lot of things that we know that they can do better. So we're going to connect you with their team or Deaf, Hard of Hearing, whatever it may be. Also, I've put on here a few other resources that I think are beneficial for everybody to know. Obviously, the first I list is Senior Community Services, especially the Tech Services program. This program is so amazing. And you know, I spent a lot of time telling you about a lot of different technology. The problem is, the big problem that I see is we don't have the capacity to go to people's homes and show them how to set up this technology. And then when it goes down or there's an issue, I can't go out to the house and help people with that. So services like the Tech Services through Senior Community Services is invaluable, and I just hope that everybody spreads the word about it, and hopefully you guys will continue to get more funding and you can expand your area. Senior Linkage Line is another really great resource, and it's all different types of things. We're actually working with my mother-in-law right now who has had some serious health issues and landed in a transitional care unit and then long-term care, and she wants to go home. And this is my job, right? And so I'm working on getting her home and I'm banging my head on the wall. So I call Senior Linkage Line and they're like, hey, did you reach out to the long-term ombudsman? I'm like, no. So I reached out to them and now they're helping us and she's going home on Thursday. So it's so exciting to know that we've got so many great resources out here. Also, MinAct, formerly TED program, is available through the Department of Human Services. And this serves people with hearing loss who need to use the phone. And what they'll do is they'll give you phones. They also help people who have mobility issues. So maybe you're not able to physically dial on your phone. They can get you set up with the technology, and there's no cost for that program. Now, they do have some income limitations. You do have to apply for their services, but if you're interested in learning more about them, I'm happy to help you with that. And then, of course, we've got the area agencies on aging. They're strategically located throughout the state, and each area of the state offers a little bit different services. And then lastly, I wanted to mention Minnesota Live Well at Home. So this is a grant that's available through the state of Minnesota, and a lot of different agencies each year apply for this grant and then have services available. And they do have a website, so if you go there, you can learn a little bit more about what's available. But if you don't want to spend all that time doing the research or anything, just reach out to us. We'll do the research for you, and we'll get you connected to individuals that can help you. In the back, in the next room, we've got 2 tables set up with just a wide assortment of technology. So if there's anything that you're interested in or want to learn more about, please come back to the table. I'm happy to show you some of the items that we have. Happy to talk to you if you have a specific question or individual that you're thinking about. So happy to help with that. Does anyone have any questions or comments as we wrap this up? I got so nervous that I was trying to rush after we lost all that time, and so now I finished a couple minutes early. In addition to working with seniors, I'll just mention, we do have a question. We serve all ages, so we work with kiddos,
Yes.
we work with employers.
Hi, what a great service. Are you going to provide the presentation to us, or can we leave an email for the presentation, or how do you want to handle that?
Deb, I don't know, how do you want to do that? Should I send it to you electronically?
Just send it to me and Becky.
Okay, absolutely, I'll do that. And then I do have my card in back, so if you wanted me to send it to you directly, I can certainly do that also. Unfortunately, I didn't have a handout with information on the specific technology, but I can certainly put something together. So if there is something in particular that caught your eye, I'm happy to give you information on that.